Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb and welcome to Logical Operators. This is the way the module looks. On this module there will be a series of base 16 characters present on each of these chips, and there will be a series of LEDs on the far left side that will be representing the state of the LEDs. In this case, if it's yellow, it represents on, and if it's black, it represents off. So, I would expect you to have a little bit of a logical knowledge on this one. I'm not really going to go over too much logical detail on this one, because a lot of this is fairly simple to do, and it really doesn't require actually that much logical knowledge to understand. So, let's get right into this. So each character has a series of binary digits, and I'm not even going to bother reading the text. But essentially what's going to happen here is that we're going to be plugging in a status light on the far right side, and what we want this to do is we want this 3 to return as true in order to light up the LED in this case. So each of the binary digits are going to be a series of different representations of like truth values essentially. So in this case, the first position is going to represent 1 1. The second position is going to represent 1 0. The third position is going to represent 0 1, and the fourth position is going to represent 0 0. And in this case, if these positions happen to be if the position happens to be a 1 and the two operators that occurred beforehand were that value, that would return true. So for example, if we were to take a look at, for example, 5. In this case, 5 has the binary digits of 0, 1, 0, 1. So now, the only way for this to return true is if the plugins, is if the state of the LEDs beforehand were 1, 0 or 0, 0, because these are the positions that these are of each of these guys that they're in. This is going to be the way that they work. And for example, if you want a visual representation here, this returns as 0, this returns as 1, this returns as 0, and this returns as 1. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what essentially we're going to be doing here. So now, there's a series of multiple different options that you absolutely can go about this. But we kind of want to start to work a little bit backwards here, and we want to realize what 3, in this case, the one that is the far rightmost, would return as true. Because 3 sometimes can be very specific, it can be very broad, like delta, for example, or it can even be foxtrot, so you can just have any result. So now, if we take a look here, what we're going to want to have is either we're going to want to have a return of 0, 1 or 0, 1 or 0, 0 as a result in this case. So we need these two, Bravo and 4, to return as 0, 1 or 0, 0. And it might be easier just to get these guys to return as false. So let's take a look and let's see what we can do here. And word of mind, an important thing to note is that when it refers to the ordering of it, it's always going to refer to top and bottom. So in this case, this would represent 1, 0, this represents 0, 1. That's the way that this works. So let's get started and let's see what we can do here. So for 1, the only way for this to return true is if it's going to be a 0, 0. And one of the things that we can actually do here is one of the things that we can immediately realize is if we make this first case 0 for Bravo, we don't care about the other bottom half of this. Whatever happens with the bottom half is irrelevant. If we get this first bit to be 0, in this case this Bravo, we're golden. That's exactly what we need to do here. And what we can do is if we take a look at Bravo, Bravo needs to specifically be 1, 0, 1, 1. And the way for it to return 0, in this case, would correspond to the 1, 0 bit right here. So we need this 1 up in the top position to be 1, and we need this 5 to be 0, to return as 0 in this case. Then these two are going to be plugged in as the next bits to Bravo. That's the way that this works. So let's take a look and let's see what we can do here. So we need 1 to return true. In this case, the only case for 1 to return true is if it's 0, 0. So we're going to leave these two LEDs off. Then for 5 to return as false, let's take a look. We can do a 1, 1 case. That would work. Then we can do a 0, 1. In this case, 1, 1 is simply easier. I like to turn them both on. And now, with this in mind, we've made this 1 and 0. Bravo is going to return as 0. In this case, this would be a valid solution to this module. Anything that happens below here, we do not care about. And as you can see, when we place the status light in, we are good to go. So now, let's take a look at our next example here. So this is going to be 2, and 2 is a very specific case. So 2, in this case, is a 0, 0, 1, 0. We want it to return as a, I'm going to write this stuff down again, 0, 0, 1, and a 0, 0. So we want this to return as a 0, 1. And one thing that we can immediately realize is that Foxtrot is the bottom bit right here. In this case, Foxtrot. Does not matter what happens with this beforehand. You can have all of these on, you can have all of them off, you can have any willy-nilly order. This is always going to return as true. So all we simply need to do is worry about the top half again. And the way that we get echo to be false is going to be through the result of 0, 0. In this case, the last bit right there. So we need to have Charlie return false, and we need to have 5 return false. So this is what we're going to be doing here. So Charlie to return false has to be 0, 0. Okay, perfect. 5 to return false has to be either 0, 1, or 1, 1. We can do that. Okay, so now that Charlie is going to be returning as false, 5 is going to be returning as false. Both of these going into false makes echo false because of the 0, 0 in this case. And now this will work. And just like that is a solved module. It's very simple to do. It's very, very simple to do. It is a little bit hard to understand, and it might be a little bit weird with all this reading here, but this is essentially all it is right here. And finally for 6. 6 is going to be returning as 0, 1, 1, 1. So in this case, it's going to be either, we have to get a 1, 0 or a 0, 1. So we need exactly one of these to return true, which shouldn't be too hard to do because of the fact that 1 has a simple result of just 0, 0, and 8 has as a result of 1, 1 that we need to get. So let's see what we can do here. Taking a look around, alpha and 0, we can get both of these to actually be true. No, that is a lie. This is always, 0 is always going to return as false. So we're actually not even going to bother with 8. 8 is just never going to happen because of the fact that there's always going to be 0 here. This is always going to return as 0 regardless of whatever happens. So now what we need to do is we need to make 1 true, and we need to make this 0, 0. So let's take a look here. So 2, in order for it to get to 0, 0, is going to be, we can do 1, 1. We can do 1, 1 here, and this is perfectly fine. The first position returns a 0, in this case the 1, 1. Next up is Bravo. Bravo is going to be returning a 0 if it is a 1, 0. So let's do 1, 0. It's already set up to 1, 0. Now, both of these return as 0. This is going to be plugged into 1. 0, 0 returns as a result of 1. And then 0, 1, in this case, is going to be plugged into 6. 0, 1 is indeed one of the true values, in this case right here. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.